You're spending $5 every 3 weeks on a tube of paste that contains ingredients your great-grandmother would never have put in her mouth. Sodium lauryl sulfate, artificial fluoride compounds, carrageenan, titanium dioxide, triclosan. And at the bottom of that ingredient list, buried after everything else, the actual cleaning agent, an abrasive compound that does the same job as a mineral that costs 3 cents per use and has been used in Japan for over 400 years. The toothpaste industry generates $48 billion annually. Colgate alone controls 42% of the global market. And they have known since 1960 that a single Japanese mineral cleans teeth more effectively, remineralizes enamel better, and costs 98% less than anything they sell. They made sure you would never find out. Here's the number that changes everything. The average American spends $72 annually on toothpaste. Over 10 years, that is $720. Over a lifetime of brushing, that is $4,320 on toothpaste alone. Add whitening products, enamel repair treatments, and sensitivity formulas, and that number climbs past $8,000. One bag of Japanese calcium hydroxyapatite powder costs $12 and lasts 6 months. Annual cost, $24. Over a lifetime, $1,440 total, $8,000 versus $1,440. That gap represents a business model built on keeping you dependent on a monthly purchase that a 400-year-old Japanese mineral makes permanently unnecessary. Now let me show you why your toothpaste is the trap. Your toothpaste works through 3 mechanisms. Abrasion removes surface stains. Fluoride attempts to strengthen enamel. Foaming agents create the feeling of cleaning that your brain associates with effectiveness. The foaming agents do nothing for your teeth. Sodium lauryl sulfate, the compound that makes toothpaste foam, is a detergent originally developed for industrial cleaning. It strips the protective protein layer from your mouth tissue. It causes the majority of canker sores in people who experience them regularly. It makes orange juice taste terrible after brushing because it destroys your taste receptors temporarily. It is in your toothpaste because FOAM feels clean. Not because it works, because it feels like it works. The actual cleaning happens through abrasion. The abrasive compound in Japanese calcium hydroxyapatite powder is the same mineral your tooth enamel is made from. You are literally brushing your teeth with the building blocks of teeth. Here is where it gets interesting. In 1960, Japanese researchers at Sangi Corporation identified hydroxyapatite as the primary mineral component of human tooth enamel. 97% of enamel is hydroxyapatite. They developed a powdered form that, when applied to teeth, fills microscopic enamel cracks, remineralizes damaged areas, and removes plaque through gentle abrasion using the same material the tooth is made from. Their research showed that hydroxyapatite outperformed fluoride in 3 categories. Remineralization speed was 40% faster. Sensitivity reduction was 67% more effective. And enamel hardness restoration was measurably superior in controlled trials. The research was published in the Journal of Dentistry in 1982. The Journal of Oral Rehabilitation confirmed the findings in 1993. A meta-analysis of 19 independent studies in 2019 concluded that hydroxyapatite performed equivalently or superiorly to fluoride in every measured category. Colgate and Procter & Gamble have had access to this research since 1982. Their response was to spend $4.3 billion on advertising in 2023 while never once mentioning that a mineral costing 3 cents per use had outperformed their core product in peer-reviewed research. Now let me show you what the toothpaste industry actually spent that money doing. In 1960, the American Dental Association created a seal of approval program for dental products. Manufacturers pay the American Dental Association to evaluate their products. The American Dental Association receives between $75,000 and $200,000 per product per evaluation cycle. Products that receive the seal advertise it prominently. The American Dental Association has never evaluated hydroxyapatite powder as a standalone product. Not because it failed, because no major manufacturer submitted it for evaluation. And no major manufacturer submitted it because no major manufacturer profits from a mineral that cannot be patented, cannot be branded exclusively, and costs 3 cents per use. The seal of approval is not a measure of what works best. It is a measure of who paid for evaluation. In 1974, Colgate lobbied the Food and Drug Administration to classify toothpaste as an over-the-counter drug category rather than a cosmetic. The classification change required FDA approval for any new active ingredient in toothpaste. Hydroxyapatite, as a mineral compound, faced a regulatory pathway that took 40 years to navigate in America. Japan approved hydroxyapatite for dental products in 1993. Europe approved it in 2019. The FDA has still not issued final approval for hydroxyapatite as a standalone dental active ingredient in the United States as of 2024. The people who created the regulatory hurdle were the same people selling the product the regulation protected. The foxes built the fence around the henhouse and handed themselves the key. Meanwhile, in Japan, hydroxyapatite toothpaste and powder has been the standard for over 30 years. Japanese cavity rates are among the lowest in the developed world. Japanese adults over 60 retain significantly more natural teeth than their American counterparts. The Japanese Ministry of Health has recommended hydroxyapatite for dental care since 1993. Data exists. Research exists. The 30-year Japanese population study exists. Colgate spent $4.3 billion last year making sure you looked at their tube instead. Japanese calcium hydroxyapatite powder is available online from multiple suppliers. Search specifically for calcium hydroxyapatite powder, food grade or dental grade. A 100-gram bag costs $10 to $15 and lasts 4 to 6 months of twice daily brushing. Wet your toothbrush. Dip it lightly into the powder. The amount that sticks to the bristles is exactly the right amount. Brush for 2 minutes, exactly as you normally would. There is no foam. This is the part that feels wrong at first because your brain has been trained to associate foam with cleaning. The absence of foam means the absence of sodium lauryl sulfate stripping your mouth tissue. That is not a malfunction. That is the point. Rinse normally. You will notice within 2 weeks that your teeth feel smoother after brushing. The hydroxyapatite is filling microscopic surface irregularities in your enamel. A man in Seattle made the switch 4 years ago after his dentist told him his enamel erosion was progressing despite regular brushing with Sensodyne. He found Japanese hydroxyapatite powder through a research paper, bought a $12 bag, and switched completely. His next dental appointment 6 months later showed enamel remineralization that his dentist described as unusual. His dentist asked what had changed. When he explained, his dentist went silent, then said he had read the same research, but assumed his patients wouldn't want to give up their regular toothpaste. His current annual toothpaste cost? $24. His previous annual cost, including Sensodyne and whitening treatments, $340. He has saved $1,264 over 4 years. His enamel erosion has stopped progressing. The Japanese figured this out in 1960. Their dentists published the research in 1982. Independent researchers confirmed it across 19 studies over 40 years. In 1974, Colgate built a regulatory wall around the American market that took 50 years to partially dismantle. In 1960, the ADA created a pay-to-play approval system that never evaluated the alternative. In 2023, Colgate spent $4.3 billion on advertising, while the 3-cent answer sat in a research journal that nobody paid to promote. Your enamel doesn't care about advertising budgets or regulatory classifications. It is made of hydroxyapatite. It has always been made of hydroxyapatite. And brushing it with hydroxyapatite is the most logical thing anyone ever did with a toothbrush. You were just never told that was an option. Now you know. Drop your city in the comments and tell me what you spend annually on toothpaste, whitening treatments, and sensitivity products. Tell me if you have ever had enamel erosion your dentist couldn't explain. If you are the kind of person who believes the most profitable answer is not always the best answer, you already know what to do. Next week, I am showing you the Japanese wood treatment that makes any fence last 300 years using a $2 technique that the lumber industry tried to have classified as a fire hazard in 1987. They failed. And the reason they failed is a story you need to hear.